What's up, JFW family? Welcome back to the Channel 23 podcast. The purpose of this podcast is to reach out and touch the fleet, to engage and inform everyone with all things JFW. Welcome back, Jim White, Brother Dave White, and Super Dave. Good morning, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Morning.
Morning, everybody.
Let's kick it off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As a reminder, anything you hear on this podcast today is not the opinion of JFW's. It's just our opinion, and they're pretty strong opinions.
Yeah, snow sucks today. Weather sucks.
Well, I don't know why. It seems like we've been up here a lot in the snow.
Watching
Right?
it snow, right?
I bet we've had more snowy Wednesdays this year or this season than any other.
Yeah. Yep. I'm not going to say it sucks, but I'm ready for the spring.
Yes.
There's a lot of things being held up right now.
Yeah.
You know? Episode 67, that was the episode with Theron Olson. It did pretty well. It had 332 downloads. We are at 25,134 total downloads, and we have 162 followers. So I think we actually gained one follower last week. And, you know, I'm all about the followers. So
Nice.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Theron, too. 332 downloads. That's a good week.
Yeah.
he was a great guest. All of our guests, like some of these people that I haven't met, all the people that have come on as guests, I love them all. But when we get a guest I haven't met, I don't know what to expect. But I should just trust Jim and Dave because they wouldn't have somebody on the podcast that, wasn't our culture, so to speak. Or so he was just enjoyable.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. He's lived it, Jam. That was the enjoyable thing. All those years of experience. He
Yeah.
was so much like us. you
Yeah,
know?
and what I like is he started off as a laborer, and he's a division manager.
Right.
At and that title doesn't even sound that powerful. Theron's a man over.
He's the man at the asphalt.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you look at like Rick Bowen. Rick Bowen just wasn't a superstar salesman overnight.
Right.
You know, he was turning wrenches and he was a techie. And, I mean, just all the stories of it just shows like hard work pays off.
Right.
None of these guys, I have a saying like, that guy was born on third base, but he thinks he hit a triple. You know what I mean?
Wow.
None
Damn,
of,
you kill me with those sayings.
None of those guys are that. They've all been at the plate, striking out and
Right.
batting practice and
Yeah.
training and
Yeah.
they all worked
Hit some
hard.
fly balls, done. Yeah.
They've all worked
What a great
hard
description.
to get where they're at.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but the old Michael Jordan, that's all that reminds me about it. Is the secret to him
Right.
is they swung every time. They were
Yeah.
on the plate swinging every time. They never stopped.
Yeah, you ask him, and obviously these numbers aren't true, but like he won 8 NBA championships, and I don't know that that's true, right? I mean, he's run several, right?
I don't even know who was in the Super Bowl.
But he'll look at you and tell you, but I missed 64,000 shots.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's his number,
Yeah.
And again, that's a fictitious number that
Yeah.
I'm stating, but that's how he portrays it.
Yeah,
right?
how many shots did he miss to win that championship?
Yes.
That's the bottom
Yes.
thing.
Yeah. He's in it to win it.
Yep.
Well, it's time for the Dad Joke Challenge. I think I'm going to kick it off. I usually let you guys kick it off. Mine's not even a dad joke. It's a stolen vehicle joke. And whenever I
Not
taste
a
blood,
gun pun?
no, I tasted blood with Kendrick this week, because the Ford was stolen, and I always like to prey on the weak. So here it goes. A man parks his car on the street and he goes into a shop. When he comes out, the car is not where he left it, and apparently it was stolen. So he calls the police and hopelessly goes back home. 2 days later, he finds his car at his front door with a note left in it. It says, "I'm very sorry, but I had to borrow your car because my wife was in labor and about to give birth, and I had to act quickly. I deeply apologize and send these front row concert tickets for you and your wife to enjoy this Tuesday evening." So the man and his wife go to the concert Tuesday evening. When they return home, they realize somebody broke in the house and it was burglarized. Burglarized, right? Wow. That's like a hard word. Well, there was a note left on the floor and it says, "So how'd you like the concert?"
Man. Oh, that's rough.
I don't know. Have we ever mentioned it through the years, thinking of the car being stolen, or that story that Dad, when he worked at Martin Marietta, his boss sent him out to the parking lot to go run an errand, and gave him the car keys to this car and asked him, hey, also fill it up. It's low on gas. And Dad got in the car and ran the errand, and he said it's plumb full of gas, and so he never stopped. When he got back, the car keys just happened to fit somebody else's car that was the exact same model. You know how the old keys would go in the cars? And he was in somebody else's car all day long driving it around.
That's hilarious.
That's a true story?
True story.
wow.
Dad tells you. Yeah.
Well, I did pick up a trailer from Merritt one time and all the load in it, and it was the wrong one. Remember that?
I don't remember that, Dave.
And I didn't realize it until I saw where the hydraulic hose went into the hoist, and it went in at the top and not the bottom. And I'm like, whoa, this isn't our trailer. I dumped the load, brought it right back to Merritt, hooked up to the right one.
Oh, just testing it, Dave. Good job.
Yeah.
How was it?
It
dumped
dumped
well?
good, yeah.
That's funny.
Who's
So-
next? Yeah, dad
Okay.
joke challenge.
Okay,
This is-
all right.
This is serious.
So why can't you trust the king of the jungle?
no idea.
I'm thinking it's got to be like Point Blank.
Because he's always lying.
Man, I'm going to follow that up because mine's as bad as that.
Come on, it wasn't that bad.
All right. What invention allows you to see through walls?
Doors?
Those see-through
Windows.
glasses. that you
Windows. You're when Jim said doors, I'm like, oh, somebody's going to say windows. I know it. All right. I threw another one in just because that one was so bad. Why can't most sailors learn the alphabet?
Because they're out of sea.
Because they keep getting lost at sea.
The Windows one was better. It was. All right. Well, I can follow that up with a good one. What do dentists call their x-rays? Toothpicks.
That is a good one, Dave. I like it, man.
All right, then here you guys go. Then. If that's the case, why did the barber win the race?
Why did the barber win the race?
Because he took a shortcut.
There you go. Good job, Dave. Good job.
Oh, did you ever answer David's?
Yeah,
Riddle
yeah,
yesterday?
Yeah, he
Gotcha.
goes, "Did you know that one?" In fact, it was in my stack of jokes.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Funny.
Yep.
Funny.
Yeah.
It took me a minute on that one, but I was.
Yeah.
What was it? Why did the Scarecrow win the award? Is that
Oh
what
yeah,
it was?
yeah. That's how it goes. The
Why
first one.
why did the Scarecrow win the award? Do you guys know? This is a joke from our
Was the best in
CPA.
his field.
He's outstanding
Standing in his field. That's what. Because we've done it on this
Yeah.
here before. Yeah. Yep.
All right, new employees. We got Robert Lincoln started this week. He's a new driver in the fleet, so welcome, Robert.
Welcome, Robert.
Yep. Welcome, Robert.
Celebrations. Got a big celebration today, guys. Linda Frazier, 12-year anniversary today.
Wow! Congratulations,
Congratulations,
Linda.
yeah.
Thank you for all
Right
you
on,
do
Linda.
for us.
Yep.
Man, think about all the things she's seen change here at JFW.
Right.
And think about all the things she has changed.
Right.
Absolutely.
Great
Great way
Absolutely.
to look at
Yes.
it.
She's a very impactful
Yes.
person.
Yep. Sister Linda.
Her mark is on everything here.
Yep.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Great
Thank
job,
you, Linda.
Yep.
We got a big anniversary, another anniversary, but it's a wedding anniversary. Mike Bortz and Chris Bortz, 35 years today.
Wow, that's
amazing.
Yes, that is something to be
Congratulations.
so
Yes,
proud of.
Congratulations, Mike and Chris.
Mike wanted to say thanks to Chris.
Thank you, Chris. I'll tell
Yes.
Chris thank you because Mike can be a little difficult once in a while. I'm kidding, Mike.
I asked Mike, I was like, well, what's your secret, Mike? I always ask married couples what their secret is because I want to know, right? He just said love.
Yeah.
I mean, what better answer than that?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, you got to be in love. So
Unconditional.
unconditional.
Yeah.
Yep. Birthdays. We got Mike Peterson. His birthday was Sunday the 12th. And then Steve Barnes. His birthday is tomorrow. So happy birthday, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy
said it.
birthday, Mikey.
I've said it
Steve.
already, but I'll say it again. Happy birthday, Mikey.
Yep.
Happy birthday, Steve.
Yep. Family birthday celebrations. We got Lauren Nahara. Her birthday is tomorrow. And then Bentley Morgan, his birthday is also tomorrow. And I think Paco and Lauren, they're going to Miami tonight.
Ooh, nice.
yeah.
Good
Have-
time to leave in this weather.
Yeah, have a fun weekend
Yeah.
or week, whichever they're going for.
Yeah, enjoy.
Yeah.
I'll be back on Wednesday, I think. I think they're coming back Monday. He's taking Tuesday off. So, yeah.
I just hear like party music when I think of Miami. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
just the nightlife, the hustle, the
yeah.
music, the little breeze and fancy cars and
Yep.
yeah, right.
Yep.
I
Don't
think
forget.
of Gloria Estefan. Because she's the Miami Sound Machine, right?
She was.
A little bit of a private joke here, but don't forget your crayons, guys. So, and then I hope I say this. Yeah, I hope I say this name right, but Jair Reza, and that'll be Alex Reza's son
Oh, congratulations.
or daughter. February 17th. February 17th. So, happy birthday!
Happy
Yeah,
birthday.
happy birthday,
Yep.
everybody.
And then we gave a shout out to Lauren, Georgie P's daughter, last week. She sent us a voice message all the way from South Africa that I want to play for you guys.
Okay.
Let me see if I can
Sounds
get this
good.
pulled up here. Bear with me. Here it is. Ready?
Thank you, JFW. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I hope you guys have a nice day, well, every day. And thank you. Okay, bye.
Love the accent,
I know.
right?
Awesome
Right?
is that?
Isn't that just
That-
cute?
That is good.
Yeah.
Good stuff there.
Good stuff, George. You must be very proud of your daughter. So, shout outs. Brother Dave, this is your shout out. You want to give it?
It is, yeah. I wanted to shout out to Anthony Harper. He's having some medical conditions, and he's working his way through it. And we just wanted to say, hang in there, pal. Keep up getting better, and can't wait to get you back.
Yeah, I'm sure Beans is taking great care of you.
Right?
Yep, absolutely.
And then it looked like you had another shout out, Brother Dave, for Scooby, mainly Scooby.
Oh, I didn't write that one down. It's already on there. Thought you were going to say it. Yeah, no, we just Scooby went through and cleaned up our fuel island, and it was just a wreck out there. And man, he went through and cleaned everything up, and it just looks beautiful out there. Kendrick helped him a little bit, but it was primarily Scooby, and it just looks great. And we want to try keeping it that way. So
Awesome.
Yeah, it's
Good
been a
job.
while. I think Marshall did it like 5 years ago.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it needs to look like that on a daily basis.
Right,
It
10
just
million
does.
gallons of diesel fuel.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no kidding, Dave.
Let's move around the table. I'll finish last on the shout outs. Jim, you got some?
Yeah, Holly called me the other day, my wife, and she didn't forget. She sent me a text or a email there and wanted to give a shout out to 0066. Obviously she doesn't know who was driving it, but they were doing a great job in the middle lane on I-25. I think it was southbound there, and she used the words from the podcast and our grandfather's word and stuff. The driver was just Cadillacing along, plenty of space between cars, and representing JFW well. So thank you, 0066. Not sure who that was that day.
Soup, you know?
Do you know who was in
Who
66?
took over Ghost Truck?
Yes, believe it or not, that was. Greg Wise was 73. He's the next one. Sorry.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah,
Let us know
yeah.
if you figure it out. Did
Have
you have
it
any
right
others?
here.
Oh, here we go.
As always.
It's so funny. I read that and I'm like, okay, you guys know who's in. 66.
Yeah, I should have looked
I
it up
won't ask.
myself. Yeah,
Luis Rosales.
Oh, Luis.
Oh,
Luis.
Great
Well,
job.
thanks, man.
Yeah,
Way to
great
represent.
job.
Way to be recognized for doing the right things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good. I don't think we've heard his name in a negative way, so that's awesome. You got any other shout outs, Jim?
Yeah, I wanted to mention right quick, Jam. Sergio Portillo. I know, everybody was aware of it that he lost a family member last year, him and his wife, and he just he stopped by and gave us some gifts yesterday and a note and stuff like that. And I guess the heroism, I want to mention, he's a hero in my heart because he had something tragic happen in his family, him and his wife. Yep. And not only there has to be a big hole left, but yesterday it was like he was filling that hole by giving, and I think that's a monstrous,
So admirable.
Yeah, it's a monstrous to his character,
Yeah.
representation to his
Yeah.
character, him and his wife. I don't want to leave
Yes.
his wife out,
Yeah.
and his family. But yeah, it was good stuff, Sergio. Thank you, man. And I'm so proud of you. And
Yeah.
and we talked before the podcast too here, Sergio, that we never come right out. We say, hey, are you okay? Are you doing okay? How are you? That kind of thing. But you never get deep in the weeds about the loss.
Right.
And so yeah, Sergio, if you ever need anything, man, just holler at one of us. I know we all feel that way.
Yeah, the strength and heroism Sergio and Bianca have
Yep.
to get through that, and how big of heart they have to give thanks
Yeah.
to everyone that
Yeah.
Be-
Thank you, Dave.
because in my eyes, we didn't do much.
Right.
We cared. We did what we felt was the human response.
Yeah.
And I mean, the right thing is what we did. And it didn't seem like that big a deal, but it obviously impacted them greatly.
Right.
And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful we can be thankful for that. So that just tells you what a giving family they are, and that's so cool.
Yeah.
So blessed to be friends with them.
Absolutely. So one thing that comes to mind, first of all, yeah, they lost, but they're giving, like you said.
Right.
To go through tragedy, but still want to give thanks is amazing. Two, you're saying it was like no big deal for JFW, but it makes me proud to work here because that's what we do. That's the way we react and we respond. And when we say we're family, we mean we're family.
Right.
And that just makes me proud to work here. And Sergio, Bianca, Liam, we love you guys. And, if there's anything else we could do for you, just let us know.
Yep.
So, any other shout outs from you guys before I go down the list?
Yeah, I just want to mention right quick because I know Dad listens every week and he bugs Jam, or he bugs me. He calls one of us or calls me, and then I have to bug Jam. But is the podcast out? Is the podcast out and stuff? So yeah, he's just going through some health issues right now, and he's been feeling down. So just a shout out to him. He'll get through it. It's all good. Nothing that serious, and we'll put the pieces together. So yeah, just shout out to Pops.
Yep, Jim Senior, we love you too, buddy. Maybe I'll give you a call here in the next couple days.
Good stuff.
Jennifer Hunt wanted to give a shout out to 0073, and that is Greg Wise. I was behind him for a few miles, and he's very cautious, safe, and alert driver. So great.
Nice.
Yep, good job, Greg. Amber and Joanne wanted to give a shout out to Herb Turner. He has the clocking in and out down like no one's business. He uses the proper allocations as he should and knows when to clock in and out for each job. Herb also clocks in and out for his shift on point. He clocks in when he leaves the yard and clocks out when pulling into the yard, not after he parks and such, etc. So it's funny. Great job, Herb. But, why are we giving a shout-out for somebody to clock in and out right? Because it's a problem, and he's paying. And he's
For the same reason we're giving a shout out for the people that are doing it right, going down
exactly,
the road.
yeah.
Right?
So thank you for doing it the right way, Herb. People may hear that, oh wow, he could clock in and out right. Well, you'd be surprised. Some people can, and it's not a skill problem; it's a will problem.
Right.
You just got to pay attention, and Herb is a guy that pays attention to detail.
Yes.
So we appreciate having you here, Herb.
Yep.
Yep. Manny V wants to give a shout out to Tony Martinez. He mentioned that Tony left his trailer and tractor super clean after using it. Said Tony went the extra mile to leave it spotless. Manny actually sent me a voice message yesterday to make sure I got it. He said his floor mats were washed, and it was definitely left better than when he got it.
That's so cool.
So good job, Tony.
Yeah, awesome, Tony. Thank you.
Thanks, Tony.
I think, Tony's his truck was down for quite a while, so he was having to drive other trucks. I'm questioning, is his truck still down? Because I thought we got it back.
I don't know. 84?
Yeah. I mean, Tony's had to go through a lot because I know his truck's been down. So he's been stuck in some different trucks, and I bet he's left them all like that. And that's the first shout out we're getting about it. So, Thank you, Tony.
Yep.
And Manny for bringing that to our attention.
Yeah.
We had Sam Dillsaver on Facebook hit us up. Hey, JFW, I just wanted to give a shout out to 006. He was following me in snowy conditions out near Lyman and kept a great space and speed. Done like a true professional. I'm an avid listener of your podcast and wanted to mention something. So thanks, Sam. And who's in 006 now, Soup?
Let's see. That is Shane Fredrickson.
Shane's out. Shane's
he
out
has
on
been
the,
out with the hernia. That's
yeah.
right.
But he's coming back Monday, and we're excited to have you
Yeah.
back, Shane.
Oh, nice.
well, could be anybody then.
Good
Well,
job.
006, you did a great job, right?
Yeah, awesome.
And we're shouting or calling you out for doing the right thing again.
Yep. Chris Beam wants to give a shout out to Georgie P for doing a good job loading over at Arcosa. Chris made a couple suggestions the first couple rounds, and he adjusted well and stayed consistent. So what we're talking about, guys, is we have a job where we have our own loader operator over at Arcosa, and Dale Boys is the man over there. He does it day in and day out, and he also does a great job.
Yeah, shout out to Dave.
Yeah.
I didn't want to interrupt you, Jim,
Yeah.
because that's just a hidden position,
Right.
right? I mean, we don't see Dale. We're not, he's not here in the office, not on the radio. I mean, he's alone in that field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah, shout out to Dale. You're as consistent as can be. You've gotten
Yep.
it dialed in. So
Yep, we see the weights every day, and we get to look to see if they are being consistent. And yeah, Dale's doing a great job. George is becoming Dale's backup, right?
Right.
We had a position over there. What happens when Dale goes on vacation?
Right.
What
Exactly.
happens if Dale gets sick? What happens if something happens?
Yeah.
We got to have another person over there that's MSHORT certified, and it looks like that's going to be George
Yep.
Potgeeter. So
Nice.
good job, guys. What was that, Sue?
He pronounces it potgeeter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He pronounces everything a little funny. But I have a feeling he
Yeah, I
knows
don't think he's from here.
which sounds weird because his daughter sounds like she's from Denver. I don't know.
Local.
Yep. Ryan Emmerling gets a shout out. He got a clean level 1 inspection yesterday, so good job, Ryan.
Yeah, that was he got 2 CVSA stickers, one for the truck and one for
Yeah.
the trailer.
Yep.
So that's
Gotta
for,
love it when you
for
get
me
stickers.
driving. Yeah, that was always a badge of honor. Like, hey, I got my stickers, man.
Yep.
What about you?
Exactly. Well, here's a badge of honor for JFW. Jimmy Villagrana hit me up this morning and said, "Good morning, Jam. Just want to share a little something. Yesterday, I wasn't aware that there were inspections in the canyon. There were 2 lines of trucks pulling in. There must have been 6 to 8 trucks in line. Troopers were hopping up on the trucks asking for paperwork, and I was a few trucks behind. But a trooper looked at me and noticed it was a JFW truck and had me get out of line and go on through. What I'm getting at is what we do we do it right, and we get the right reputation, and it feels pretty good. Don't know if you want to share this on the podcast, Gracias. Of course I want to share it. That's amazing.
Yeah,
it's-
thanks, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's a big deal, and I know Jimmy gets it. That's the reason he's sending you that is, to me it's the same thing as it just puts pressure on us that we got to keep doing the right thing. So when they do check us, when they really check us, everything is okay.
Right.
And it's right. Our weights, our axles, our paperwork, our insurance, driver's license, medical cards, the yearly sticker on the frame, all of that, and that's up to you guys because you're driving it every day. And I bet Jimmy, he checked his truck out even after that. Going, he let me go. I got to make sure everything's right,
Right, yeah.
And yeah. So thanks, Jimmy, and I know how important that is. You've been doing it too long, buddy, not to recognize how nice that was.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely. And then Amber, she's just trying to steal the spotlight here. She says, "Can I get 2 more shout outs for tomorrow?" Absolutely, Amber. I told her she needs her own podcast, but here we go. Can you give a shout out to Dispatch for me? They have been working really hard to help me with these tickets and making sure they are entered correctly, especially the CMEX ones. The second one is for Benny Gonzalez. He has been also clocking in and out each time he switches job types correctly. Thank you. So, awesome job, Benny, and awesome job to Dispatch, as always.
Yeah.
Yeah, way to go, everybody.
Thanks for pointing it out, Amber.
Teamwork, right? Teamwork.
Yep. I want to give a personal shout out to Paco and Lauren. I guess that's one advantage of being a host of the podcast is you could get to do personal shout outs.
Right.
But anyway, me and my wife were blessed to be able to join Paco and Lauren and New Hope Ministries of Central Denver for a marriage conference. And it was a pivotal moment, I would say. And my marriage is moving in a different direction, and just my relationship with God. And Paco and Lauren organized the whole thing. And to see Paco get up and speak in public was a pretty proud moment for me to watch him up there and just do his thing. So great job, Paco and Lauren.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very cool.
Moving on to the discussion part of the podcast, I wanted to make a correction about the truck rodeo. Last week I misspoke, saying that family was not going to be at the truck rodeo. It's not that family can't be there. It's just going to be grassroots. This is our first truck rodeo, so it's not going to be super fancy. But if people want to come and do something potluck style and support their loved ones who are competing, you are more than welcome to join us.
Nice.
Yep.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, well put, Jim. Yeah, I know we put the committee together, or they put themselves together, of the participants' peers and stuff, and they were doing a lot of ideas. We gave them a few ideas, and a lot of things changed. But this is our first year doing it, and we wanted to get our feet wet. They had a lot of great ideas, but we were like, hey, let's back it down a little bit. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how we handle ourselves. Let's see how the participants do. And I think we maybe we stifled them a little bit, but we just didn't want to be disappointed where we had no knowledge on how it's going to be. Right. And when you call it grassroots, I'm hoping it's a family event that all our families do there. We bring some extra tents, like you mentioned, potluck, that kind of thing. We laugh, joy. We don't judge. It's just a good day, and hopefully good weather. I think April 1st, right, is when we were trying to do it.
Yeah,
and,
April Fool's Day.
Just kidding.
Just joking. But yeah, I guess I want to help you out and appreciate the apology, Jam. But I think we all have heard so many different things that it was tough to keep up with, and I just want everybody, if you're wanting to show up.
Yeah, and the cool thing why we don't know everything about it is because we're not the ones organizing it.
Yeah.
Right? There is a truck rodeo committee that's organizing it, so we're not in the know of everything, and some of their ideas and our ideas may not have been communicated very well between each other. So great job to the committee.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Still a big job.
Oh, yeah. Big job. So, all right, we're getting a lot of tickets. This is from Linda. We're getting a lot of tickets that fail to enter / update in Axon. They are because of duplicate numbers. Axon sends out a message that says invalid update sent. Then it has duplicate ticket. If you get that error message, please use JJ at the end of the ticket number. All tickets entered should end with the letter J. If you get a duplicate notification, please use JJ or double J at the end of the ticket number. Also, please enter all your tickets in Axon by the end of the day. Dispatch is now removing unused Axon tickets from the system the day after they are dispatched if they're not completed. Example, if you did Fry Rock to Plan 2 on Monday, you should enter all your tickets Monday afternoon / evening. On Tuesday, dispatch removes all Axon entries that were not completed as part of our checks and balances. So,
yeah, and I think we can, along those lines, if I can help it, that doing it on the phone is the easy way. Yeah. Having to write them all down, do all the tickets, turn all the paperwork in. And I know we're still turning paperwork in, but we're basically tossing it in the basket. This should eliminate billing mistakes, fat finger mistakes, all that kind of stuff. But you still have to do this step, you guys. And if you get a ticket that's kicked back, you need to fix it. We need to do. This is the better system, but again, you got to do it.
Yeah, the old saying: "The job's not done until the paperwork's complete." There's to me, when I was driving, I wanted to be paid correctly.
Right.
Yes.
I wanted there to be no error on my end that's going to slow down myself from getting my money. So
it's your infamous statement, Jam. Is it a skill problem or is it a will problem?
Straight up will problem.
Right. I've been in training. We didn't train you to do it 3 days later or 4 days later or next week, right? We trained you to do it that day.
Right.
Bottom line.
Yeah. No reason to take your tickets home. No reason to keep them in your car. No reason to lose a ticket.
Right.
Finish your paperwork, put them in the
Right.
box at the end of the day, and it's just going to solve a lot of problems.
Super easy.
Yep. So we got a pretty big announcement to make. We're pleased and proud to announce that Casey Guthrie has been promoted to a safety director position. So he has a new role here at JFW. Why did we promote Casey, guys? Anybody know?
Yeah, we have this checklist of qualifications, and Casey met them all.
Right.
And he does a really good job. I know you were writing some of the stuff down, but he's going to be a 2-coin recipient, if I can say that.
Yep.
Of a
Silent Warrior.
Silent Warrior.
So we just let the cat out of the bag. We're doing the Silent Warrior thing again this year.
Right.
And Casey got a coin last year. He's going to
Yep.
get a coin again this year.
Yep.
And
And
then-
just to be a Silent Warrior, the qualifications you need to meet, and we don't spit out all those qualifications because it's something you just need to do and
Right.
then be recognized for it.
Yes.
We can't tell you all what it is,
Can't give you the secret.
right? Because but it's as simple as doing your job.
Right.
And Casey's done that. He's also, we've interviewed him in the past. We've made some suggestions. He's made corrections. He's grown quite a bit. That way, he's accident free.
Yep.
We look through there.
Yep.
His attendance,
Perfect.
Call outs.
his
Yeah.
call outs, his weights in the truck have always been right there.
Yep.
No tickets, no overweights at the scales, no seatbelt tickets, no I can't find my paperwork. How he's doing his
Zero
job.
pushback on anything.
Yeah. Yeah. And just so you know, Casey had interviewed for this position before. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
And didn't get it.
He didn't get it.
Yeah.
He wasn't ready. He's ready now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good job,
Yeah,
Casey.
and shout out to Casey because we went over that. Like you said, he interviewed for the position and he didn't get it, but he didn't take his ball and go home.
Nope.
He became a better teammate after that interview. And
Yeah.
and that's quality.
yeah,
You can only succeed at something after you failed.
Yeah.
Right? If you succeeded at something and there was no effort, it probably wasn't much of a challenge.
Right.
Right? You know, we need things that challenge us in our lives. That's
Yeah.
what makes us better.
Yeah, Casey left with a checklist of things that he needed to work on, and he worked on them.
Yeah.
So good job. Yeah.
Good job, Casey. Congratulations.
Boy, I tell you, we've been hitting on the topic of my high road hauler. Like we've hit on it like 3 or 4 times already.
Nice.
And I'm not going to tell you what it is. but
Don't give away the surprise.
Yeah. By the
Ca-
time we're done, you won't even have
Casey did what.
What's your High Road Holland's about?
Yeah, I'm about to
oh,
say.
just
in
gave it
High
away.
Road Holland. So
Yeah.
Don't even read it, Dave. It's a waste of time.
I know.
to read it. Soup,
save
you
it
want to hit
for
us with your high
Never
road? Home?
know.
Great
You want to
segue.
hit us with your high road? Home?
We should change it up and do it in the middle.
So funny. Jim, I'm going to hand this off to you. These next few items are items you brought up for the outline. So
Perfect, Jim. Jump in if I, make a wrong statement or anything here. So first off, I want to just talk about license plates. Just like your personal vehicles, Colorado recognizes that there's a 30-day grace period. If your license plates expire in June, you have till July to get the plates. It's always been that way. Same thing for our big trucks. This is a huge yearly fee when we renew the fleet. Me and Dave's got it estimated at about $400,000. I know we've talked about it.
It's well over 400,000.
Yeah. Hopefully not over 500,000, but we'll see. We'll see what fees have changed and how.
Thank you, Colorado.
Yeah, thanks, Colorado. Right.
Did I mention vote?
Let's we're going political. Hold on. But yes,
Everything's political, though.
it
That's the
is.
problem.
It is, right? Yeah, so anyway, the license plates and stuff, you guys. So just, hopefully everybody's listening. If somebody's not listening and you run into that, we'll push it as far as we can. We'll probably renew them sometime in March, and you'll get your new stickers. They're not expired. I mean, they have February on them,
yep.
but they're not expired here in February. Just so you know, we are on top of it. We're aware of it. I usually have some guys that contact us this time of year that say, "Hey, my plates, expire in February," and I'm always impressed that somebody does that,
Right.
Because somebody's looking,
Yeah.
because what if we did miss,
Right.
that
Yeah.
kind of thing. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely,
You just never know. A lot of stuff
A
happens.
lot of moving parts
Yep.
that we can make a mistake on.
Yep, absolutely. It reminds me, I want to mention IFTA stickers on the door. Super Dave's been going around and putting the IFTA stickers on. They do not have to be on the truck for the new year until actually the end of March. Super Dave's way ahead of that. Dave, you're almost...
I only have 17 left to
Oh,
put
awesome.
on. and they're all at the Yard 23.
Nice.
And I'm going to be
Nice.
going over there today with a torch to do it.
17
Because
stickers left
there's gonna
and
be a lot of
24
trucks
trucks need it.
So
Yeah, so don't if you get pulled over, that's where I'm going with this segment is educate your stuff with a patrolman because you never know what the patrolman's going to think. You have a grace period on your license plates. Your IFTA sticker doesn't have to be on until March, which we're on that. Super Dave's almost done. We just said that. Checking your paperwork, making sure things are correct, making sure the registration isn't in the trailer for somebody else's trailer or tractor, or there's not a mistake or it's expired. What we love to do is we love to hand out the new registration and we throw the old registration away, but somehow an old registration pops up, which I've never understood. It's like
Or we have a trailer registration in the truck book, right? And a trailer insurance card, and that truck's not even pulling that trailer anymore.
Exactly.
Right?
it's so important, you guys, because we do swap trailers around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody might want a trailer with a ladder. Somebody might want a long trailer. Somebody else might want a rock trailer. And so please leave those trailer registrations in the
Trailer.
in the tube, or the little round thing.
I mean, it goes back to last week's podcast. Why do we do that? Because we switch trailers.
Yep.
Right? And there's no way to track and keep track of all that. We don't know what movements you made in your truck and trailer, so we had to devise a situation or a plan. Hey, here's the trailer, here's the information tube. Keep your trailer insurance and your trailer registration in there. We're golden. You can never fail. That goes back to, Ryan Emmerling when we mentioned getting a clean level 1 inspection. I bet he had all his paperwork in order.
Oh,
I bet his weights were legal because he was hauling a load of Coors grain out, and they inspected him because the scales were set up out there. Or the portable guy was out there doing inspections, and Ryan had all his P's and Q's together. I mean, it was.
Where was he, Dave?
He was at the Fort Morgan port.
Oh, okay.
To the best of
Good.
my knowledge, I could be wrong. That was what I
We need
understood.
to shine a little bit at that Fort
Right.
Morgan port, huh?
Right, absolutely. And we need way more clean inspections like that. And none of us mentioned, we all just take it for granted. Is that a $50?
Yeah, he got $50.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's $50 for your clean inspection. I mean, we're incentivizing you in your safety bonus. Any clean inspection like that on a level 1, that's $50, So they checked brakes, windshield, air leaks, all of that. Everything we ask you to check, there's a reason. There's always a reason for it, right?
Yeah, and I just want to mention because it makes me think of it because you have to pass a little bit of that thank you on to Ryan to our shop because they're looking at his truck every 2 weeks, Dave.
Yeah,
when it
on
gets
the
pulled in
shorts.
on the shorts, and they're going over it. Obviously, Ryan's going over it, so we have all these eyes looking at it, and the shop should deserve some of that $50. But I do know for the shop that when we turn in our aluminum and our metal and our steel, we usually let Mikey have that money, and he does pizza night or a dinner night or stuff like that.
Yep.
So just so the shop guys are listening, that's that portion. That's the reason you guys get that because we recognize that everybody is doing their job right there. So good job shop, good job Brian, way to go.
Yeah. I do want to kind of tie all that together too, because we sit here on a weekly basis, and I'll use the word harp, right? We harp on truck inspections. We harp on trailer inspections. We harp on driving right, but here's a case. Ryan went out there, got stickers, right? Jimmy V calls and says he was pulled out of line because the guy walked up and it was a JFW truck. If we didn't harp on that stuff on a daily or weekly basis, would we be here? Would we be in this situation?
No.
Or would we be just another borderline okay company?
We'd be with the other brotherhood.
Right.
That's
there's
that's the brotherhood that not doing their job.
I feel, because we're not cocky. That's just not who we are. So when I say this, it's like the JFW way. It's better. Why not educate everyone to the best of our ability so we're all better out there on the road? That's the purpose of this podcast, is to get that information out to everyone to be better. And I think this is like, it sounds corny, the fruit of our labor, right? You're seeing some things come to fruition that are because we're training everyone. We're helping everyone be better, I think.
Yeah. Super Dave. As you were saying that, Dave, I was just thinking, because I know we just did not Theron's podcast, but the one before, we talked about how we went back 5 years and
Right.
we went over it. And again,
Right.
we harped on it. We've talked
Yeah.
about it. Everything like that. And I'm just thinking up above here where Sam DeSilver, I apologize,
DeSilver.
Sam, if I'm not saying it correctly, but I assume he was in another big truck. He's a driver.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that.
Yeah,
He's the fuel hauler. right?
No. I don't
Oh.
think, no, he doesn't haul fuel. He's over the road for, I can't think of the name. I'd have to pull up the picture, but he's actually, we've talked about him on the podcast
Yeah,
a few
yeah.
times.
You're right. Yeah, and not the. I'm sorry, I put the two together. Yeah, no, you're not the fuel hauler.
Sure. But, if Sam's an independent or working for somebody or, maybe, and he says he's an avid listener, maybe just us talking about it again, Dave, makes him better.
Right.
Maybe
Yeah.
he goes, what? I haven't done a pre-trip because I'm in my own truck,
Well,
and maybe I need to check it. Or maybe, he hasn't renewed his license plates. I don't know. I'm making things up. But if it helps him and then he can pass it on, that's just the next step.
yeah, it's so funny, Jim. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but I mean, at the bottom of your list here, and I'm sorry for jumping in, but I wrote in post-trip checking tires. And you and I sat in your pickup this morning when we got here I think we sat there for 25 or 30 minutes just talking and working business. But there was a truck parked on the other side of the street that we all drove past when we pulled in the parking lot. And as we were sitting there, the lights came on, the truck fired up, and the driver got out. And I'm like, oh, how cool, Jim, this guy's doing his pre-trip inspection before he takes off, And you guys, he was wearing a pair of checkered Vans shoes. It's
Snowing like crazy.
It's 14 degrees out, right? Snowing. And he was taking his time. He looked at his lights. He stepped back. He checked things.
Yeah, you looked inside the tires.
I
Uh-huh.
thought you were going to say he just started taking a pee.
Well, we were worried about that.
He didn't. Yeah, so he must have had a bottle in the truck because I know when I wake up, that's what I have to do,
Right?
Dave, right? First stop. But anyway,
Yeah.
and he didn't throw the bottle out, or at least to the best of my knowledge, he didn't, right?
And let me pose this question just before you go on, though. So he did something, you guys. Dave's headed this way, and he did something as he walked around the truck, you guys. And I'll just let that sink in. Everybody think about it.
Yeah, maybe that should be a question. What do you guys think he did when he walked around the truck?
Yep. Because we described it. You gave a clue away just now,
Right.
on what he was wearing.
I know what you're going to say.
What, Dave? What is it? What is it?
He kicked the tires.
Dave.
Every one of them, Dave.
Yes.
He checked every one of them with his Van tennis shoes.
Yeah, boy, I'm sure
And
he had a. If
At
he did it,
what, 15 degrees?
Yeah, he would have had a really
it was
sore toe.
14 degrees when we were parked there, Jim. I looked over at your thermometer, and when we say kicked the tires,
He touched him.
he touched them.
Right.
I mean, there was no kick, and
Basically, he was counting them to make sure they were.
yeah, exactly, Jim.
nobody
because
stole one,
those
Jim.
tires could have had 10 pounds of air in them, and I guess that's where I'm leading up to. Why do we ask you to check your tires, right? It's not because you're just going to run and have a flat, right? We're worried about the blowout, and we go over this all the time, right? For every 1 pound of air, that tire picks up 2 degrees of heat. So this guy could be loaded. He just spent the night here, hopped on his logbook. He's going to roll right out of here after he touched his tires with his Van shoes, right? He didn't bump them. He doesn't know what air's in them. You couldn't tell. One of those tires could have had 10 pounds in it. So that's 90 pounds low.
Yep.
90 times 2, that's 180 degrees hotter. So the guy isn't even going to make it to Bennett and blow that tire out, right? Because it's just over there at capacity and it gives out. And the guy's going to call in and go, "Hey, I blew a tire, but I did my pre-check. I don't understand why. I did my
He checked
right.
that box.
Yeah.
I just want to give Sam Dillsaver proper recognition.
Thank you.
So he's over the road driver for Doug Andrus Distributing.
Oh,
Yeah. Yep. Looks like a dry van, maybe a reefer. I can't really see.
and, I mean those are the black.
No, here's a picture of it.
They're
It's like
red and orange.
yeah, it's
Okay,
like a
all
red
right,
truck.
yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah.
I've
Good
seen
guy.
the Andrus many times. Yeah. Very
looks
cool.
like he's got
So
a-
the fuel hauler has a handle. What's his handle, Jim?
I don't know. I don't remember who you're talking about, Dave. I'm not.
He emailed you, and you brought the email
yeah.
in, he goes by his CB handle,
Yeah.
and I want to say
Oh yeah,
Because it's a good one.
yes,
So
it
good,
is.
I can't remember. That's
Right?
terrible.
I mean, we
Yeah.
talked about it like
Yeah.
I think we've seen that.
Phantom.
Yes, yes, Phantom.
Phantom, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, Phantom, for blending you in there with Sam Dillsaver. And Sam, sorry for blending the Phantom in with you. We understand. Got to get the followers right. That's
Right.
right.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
important, right?
It is important.
It is. It is. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel foolish, you guys. We have this outline that we've all read, we've all looked at. We don't know who's in 006 that Sam was following. We don't know who was driving 0066, so we're giving shout outs to truck numbers. That's not who we
Yeah,
are.
0066 is Luis.
Yeah,
we
already
did
covered
figure that out.
Right. I thought he was on Oh,
No,
that's right. Okay.
Shane
He went,
is
yeah.
Shane was the
sorry,
one that-
sorry. Yeah.
was
Outward,
turning
yeah,
up.
yeah.
I mean, I forgot the address to this place this morning, so I barely made it in here.
It's because it was snowing, hard to find, right?
Yeah. Well, the good news is after all these years and podcasts, we have room to get better.
Yeah,
Right.
Right?
Honestly,
If we identify that,
yeah, honestly,
We're
it's
good.
my fault. I write the outline, but I guess I'm getting lazy because there's so much more interaction. Like when people send me something, like what I do is I copy it and I paste it and I email it to myself, and then I copy and I paste it and I paste it into the
Yeah.
outline. So poor job on my part.
Jam, none of us helped you. Right? So, I mean,
You sent
got
it to us. We read it.
Yeah.
You know,
But-
I didn't ask after Holly sent that to me. Who's in 66?
Right. One of my goals is to have never been a truck number.
Right.
Right? If you just say 006, well, nobody was driving it. Right. 006 did a great job.
Autonomous.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, it's always been a name and a number, a name and a number, a name and a
Yeah.
number. You know what I mean?
We'll do better. And you know what? I'll even track down who was in that truck when we leave,
Oh, cool.
and we'll
yeah.
make a correction next week. So
Obviously, it was someone capable of going out of town, right? That had to
Right.
be one of the Kansas runs.
maybe
Or
Yeah.
Coors. Maybe.
Neil Lyman.
Yeah, it was out near Lyman, Jim. So,
No, we
Yeah,
were
the-
delivering salt to Lyman.
Yeah.
Also.
oh, I just kind of assumed we were, doing the
yeah.
Lamar thing. So we go out to Lyman, go down to Lamar, get product, go to Kansas, and bring salt back. We've
Yeah,
been
we
doing a
had
lot of that too.
Bunch of loads going to the Lyman shed, the
Gotcha.
CDOT shed.
So it could have been either. Yeah.
We're everywhere. Damn it. That's the reason we got to make sure we're
right.
doing it right.
See your
Right.
trucks everywhere.
Right? We got to be doing it right. Hey, so I want to back up because one of my big things is about the license plates, IFTA stickers, and this seems to be because this has always been weird to me, is the annual inspection sticker. Okay, tons and tons and tons of time, no pun intended, over the years, drivers can't even find the sticker. Right, you guys?
I don't have a sticker.
Yeah, what sticker? And it's right on the frame of the truck.
Where's
All-
it at on the frame of the truck?
On the frame of the truck.
But what location?
Usually,
Is it on my side or your side?
Well, it should be the driver's side because that's the side you get out with, standing with the state patrolman, and could go, there it is.
Right.
Down the frame. Right.
So we try really hard to put it near the step
Yep.
on the truck.
So
The frame,
when you're stepping up on the step and on the catwalk, you see it a lot.
Right.
And you look at it a lot.
right when you're cleaning your back window and getting up there or hooking up your airlines or
Absolutely, absolutely. So that sticker, that's an annual inspection telling the police, the trooper, whatever, that truck has been inspected to go into the future is the way I look at it. That truck is okay to be on the road for the next year.
Yep.
So that trucker, that trucker sticker, that sticker. This is
Got some tongue
this is
twisters
my
this morning.
final argument too. Is it will have the date.
Jam's watching TikTok videos.
Gee, I tell you, Jim,
Doing our
that tongue
podcast.
piercing you got has really screwed you up.
That tongue piercing. Hey, you guys do that.
But it looks so nice with his new nose ring.
Wait till I get my ear done. The sticker, you guys, it usually like if it's this month and the shop does the inspection, it will have February punched out of it, and it will have 2024 on the sticker. Or no, it has 2023, but everybody knows it's good for a year.
The date the inspection
Inspection
is done,
done, yes.
is the date of the sticker.
Yeah,
It's good for 1 year from the
that
date.
date. Yes.
So what you may be seeing is February of 22.
Yes.
That means that sticker is still good through the end of the month.
Yep.
Right? If it's
Yep.
March,
And there's no day; it's only a month.
correct.
Yeah, a
Yes.
month. You get the whole month.
You get a
the
month.
whole month.
There's a hole punch in the month, and there's
Yep.
I don't know. I think Mike's changed stickers because we used to have to put a little year date on there, a year number on there.
Yeah, and I think they were
he
blowing
switched to a
off.
hole punch. So you should have the hole punch of the month and a hole punch of the year.
Yep,
Right?
yep.
Of the day the inspection was, or the month the inspection was done.
Yeah, so if you listen to this podcast, you get out and your truck shows January 2022, what's wrong?
It's expired,
Last month.
right? That
Right?
sticker's
We
expired.
all agree with that, right?
Yep.
I agree with that. Yes.
If it shows March of 2022, what do you have?
We got
till
a
March.
month.
Right?
We got
To the end of March.
Yeah, 45 days if
to
you
the
want to try
last
to.
day of March.
Yeah, last day of March. Okay. All right. So, and we're starting to do them. So help the shop. And then, like I did quickly mention, when we were washing them, we were blowing the little sticker off that Mike was adding, and we had a problem with that because we're trying to clean the frame. Or maybe the sticker just came off. I mean, if you don't have one, you have to get with the shop. If you don't know where it's at, you have to get with the shop. And same for the trailer. Same sticker on the trailer should be on the driver's side, up towards the front. I've seen them in a couple different places. We're probably all the same now with the same style trailer, but we had a few different trailers.
We've been
right?
trying to put them right there on the corner. Right, it would be right above your drive tires.
right in the
Right.
rock.
So when
and
you're standing there at your drive tires on your tractor, you just look and there should be the sticker right there. I mean, and we've been trying to put them eye level. I mean, it's kind of the no brainer, but I haven't seen them in other spots.
Yeah, and I guess I've watched a couple things, and we have the saying over in the training room there in the other building, about show me and teach me and, involve me and all that kind of stuff. Right here in this podcast, we're involving you. I tried to explain what the sticker is. It's being inspected. That truck is roadworthy for the year to come, the next year. So whatever you have on your sticker, it's good for a year, so you can visualize it. It's kind of buying your license plates that goes along with that. It's good for the next coming year to read that. Your IFTA stickers, they do expire in that year in March of the year. So a little bit of complicated, but understanding what the stickers are for.
Right. Absolutely.
So, and then little bit shifted gears. I'm being really what would the word be? I'm waiting for spring. I'm excited for spring. We're around the corner, right? We got
Could
March,
taste it.
April, right?
We could taste it.
We're so close. So, and I know we've mentioned in other podcasts, but we mention a lot. So that's going to be some thawing. We've got a good frost line in the ground. We're going to have a lot of mud. I know we went over it a few weeks ago, pulling to the side of the road, all that kind of stuff. Me and Dave ran a job out of, Morton.
Are
And
you going to go there?
no, I'm not going to talk about the giant ice pond that was driven through.
But I think we need to.
Okay. All right. So let me finish this part.
Okay.
Tow hooks and tow pins. Okay. Got to make sure you have them. Got to make sure you have the pins. You should never need them. But if you do, you got to have them. You got to know where it's at. You got to be able to put the tow hook in, pin it in place. If you happen to have two tow pins, you shouldn't. It should be an impossibility, but only use one. Safety as being using a tow pin. Don't ever stand there while they're pulling and you're anywhere near the chain or cable.
Don't be in harm's way.
Yeah, don't be in harm's way. Want to throw that out. Usually let the loader do all the pulling. You should never spin a tire. You shouldn't gas on it. There should be nothing. That loader should, in most cases, be badass enough just to pull you up.
Release your brakes.
Release your brakes. Yeah, make sure you can roll in neutral.
Don't step on the
possibly.
brakes.
Yeah, in neutral, possibly
That'd be
jam.
great,
Right.
yeah.
All that kind of stuff. And then when everybody stopped, then you take the truck, put it in gear, and move it and take the slack out, or make some kind of contact with the loader operator, and he backs up and makes the slack in the chain or cable. To go along with that, though. I mean, we were just talking about we have quite a few new guys. Maybe we have somebody that's, only ran flatbed and is a great driver. But do not push on that trailer. Do not let the loader touch the back of that trailer. Any place, on the side, on the tailgate, even one of the rock trailers. The rock trailers are bad enough, are badass enough to do that, but it's going to jack up the paint. It's going to scratch it. It's going to dent it. And our rock trailers look badass. Love the red paint.
Yep.
They represent. So just do not. If the suggestion comes up to pull you backwards with the trailer, you have to contact the shop.
Yep.
You have to ask first. There's a certain way to do it. You can wrap it around you will not, but you can put it around the axle with some supervision or some knowledge. The big thing that happens is you wrap the chain around the axle, the loader pulls, the chain slides and wipes out air pods, brake pods, not air pods, but brake pods, air lines, valving,
The self-inflation system.
goes
into the
air,
axle.
air ride levelers.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's just so much.
That's something you need to contact the shop. I mean,
Have to.
The shop needs to be involved anytime
Yeah,
a truck is towed.
Yeah,
anytime.
Frontwards,
Period.
backwards, doesn't
Yeah,
matter. Has to be involved.
We
So-
love pictures
Yep.
because we can guide you. Because it does make a difference sometimes which toe pin you use.
Yeah,
Whether you're the
absolutely.
driver's
Road
side or the passenger side,
driver's side, right, Dave? Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, there's tips and tricks, right? We've learned a few things over the years,
And we know a few,
Right?
I mean, that's all there is to it.
You've
learn
done-
something new every day, though.
You've done a few things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's you become that expert, and then you should always be open to learn the next new thing.
Right?
Right.
Yeah. We
Absolutely.
learned something new, mileage in that job Monday.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, you want to go back to that, don't you?
I think we have to.
All right.
I mean,
all right.
you can't help but not. That's an aha moment.
So it
Like,
happens to be the pit with the giant cannon out front.
That would be an LG pit.
That would be an LG pit.
That would
Got
be
a
LG.
giant cannon out front.
LG
of the pit.
Ragsdale,
Yeah.
or I believe I've heard it called Cannondale.
I think so. Maybe because of the giant cannon, but
I think so.
If you've been in and out of there, you know what we're talking about, drivers, right?
Yes.
Right. So-
Highway 85,
Highway 85.
just past County Road 18.
Yep.
For LG Fort Lupton, you go past County Road 18, then you make your next left, and
And
you're
it-
at LG Ragsdale.
Beautiful looking pit. Blade
Yes.
was there, blade in the road, big ass LG blade, smoothing it. Looks nice. Nice road up to the scale house. We passed a couple trucks, guys doing it right, Jam and Super Dave. And here over to the side of the road, leaving the scale house, is this giant ice pond. It's like no trucks ever should drive there. It's just, you don't even park near it.
And when we say giant, it's probably 3 trucks wide, a truck and a half long.
If not a little longer, but
Right.
you can kind of see that
It's a big puddle.
that's where the water drains
Big puddle.
off the road, or maybe they've pushed some snow over there, right,
Yeah.
Dave, when they
Yeah.
cleaned the road?
Could be.
So it's I don't know, anywhere from, let's say, 2 to 6 inches deep. Going to fill your shoes with water when you walk through it.
Yeah, you wouldn't walk through it.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way,
And
right?
I know we're lingering on this story, but you look over there and somebody's driven through it. Okay? Broke all the ice to shit. The ice was pretty thick. It's in chunks of a foot and bigger, and all broke up and purposely driven through. You got to drive over there. So as me and Dave are looking, what do you think the tires look like?
Tire tracks.
The tire tracks.
They probably look like super singles off a big, bright, shiny red truck.
Yeah, because all sorts of trucking companies run our wide base trailer tires, right, Jam?
Nope.
So what was that coming out of the pond? Just a set of super singles or wide base on, we assume, one of our trailers. And we're like,
And we're just putting 2 and 2 together with the
Yeah.
assumption, right, Jim? We didn't see it. We didn't witness it. But the tracks are there. And, when you put 2 and 2 together, if I was a gambling man, I would bet that was one of our trucks.
yeah, I looked at Sherlock. And Sherlock goes, "What do you think, Watson?" And I said, "Well, the clues lead that JFW drove through that big ass pond."
Right?
Man.
And Jim and I talked, and it was funny because I kind of gave the story to our CPA who was here yesterday. And I was like, who drives through that? And it's not just a puddle,
It's a lake. I mean,
and it's frozen, right? And you chose to go drive through it. And I when I told the story to our CPA, I said, that's something you do when you're 16.
right.
And you're like, hey, there's a puddle, you
And
know,
you have
and
a big new lifted pickup truck.
right, and you
Mud-
gas
mud
on it, and you're
tires.
like water spraying everywhere. And we're not saying you went through the puddle fast. We have no idea how fast you went through it, right? The problem is you drove through that puddle, you know. And I even told our CPA, I'm like, you know, if you got stuck in it and I showed up to pull you out, I would be standing in the dirt and I would hand you the chain and go, you go walk through the puddle. Right. You go hook the toe pin. You go hook the chain, and then you go hook to the loader. Because I'm not doing it. I have no. I mean, it was well over ankle deep. Yeah. Well over ankle deep. And I just thought, why make that choice? What makes you make that choice? That's where I'm still puzzled. Right.
So I'm trying to envision this. So tire tracks going here, veer off into the puddle.
Yes,
like
Jam.
purposely.
Yes,
And
Jam.
Yes.
then come back out.
No reason to be over there.
And Jam, it does look like an area to pull off and park when there's no puddle.
So
Right, because it's
Right.
the road. You've gotten your ticket. You're off the scale. You're leaving the pit. It's between the scale and the gate,
and you
it's
have all the room to the south
yeah.
to park. Jam.
Yeah.
So it was either done intentionally or that person has no situational awareness whatsoever.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah. And when Dave asks about that, you know, when he tells you about the story about the CPA, you know, about who does that, we've all done that stuff. 16, 18.
You were 16. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were young.
Well, that's
Not-
the reason the insurance company won't let us hire 16-year-olds.
Right,
Yeah.
and I said
insurance is
I finished
through
the
the roof.
story with that to David, but I said we're not hiring 16 or 17-year-olds. We're hiring an experienced Class A CDL operator that has been trained not to do that, right? So but I guess that goes back to the guy kicking his tires this morning. And I use that term loosely, that he was kicking his tire. He touched his tires wearing his van shoes.
They were steel
And,
toe.
and I think he was trying really hard not to get his vans dirty. So I mean, you were taught not to do that. Why do you do that? You know, is there the skill problem or is there the will problem? Because I guarantee you, everyone has to go to a school now, right? You can't get a CDL without going to school. They're not teaching you that in school. Guarantee you they're not teaching you that way.
Right.
But I think it comes down to something else we talk about a lot, we all look that way at it, is that guy that kicked his tires this morning, even if that's a drop and hook trailer, he's not thinking of the next driver down the road that maybe he makes it to his destination, but he leaves that tire hot or shredded inside, and the next guy gets stuck with the blowout. And that's what happens. Same thing here is what happens down the line to the next person that's having to drive your truck or deal with the tire that was left. It's the what if.
Well, and I mean, my thing, Jim, you go back to it and you think, well, number one, why did you drive through that puddle? Number two, did you see how much water was going in your rims? Because it was that deep.
Oh yeah.
Right? So every rim on that truck is coated. It has water flowing in the wheels from the water in that puddle. In the front drive tire or front drive axle, second drive axle, the front trailer axle, the rear trailer axle, and you've just trashed your wheels that the wash bay we've paid to wash and clean your truck.
Yeah, that's their goal, and
Right?
you just made it twice as hard on your teammates.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. And what if you would have got stuck, Dave?
Yeah, so I relate that to I wonder how I learned not to do that. Well, I had to wash my own truck.
Exactly.
Right? And you're like, well, I'm going to go around that puddle. I don't want my wheels
Around
all
the
jacked
bumps
up.
on 270.
Yeah.
Yeah, I experienced that in the Jeep. When I first got the Jeep, we went on a wheeling trip. People are driving through the puddle. I'm like, oh, I'm going to drive through the puddle. And then I regretted it for the next 2 years because the shit that gets in the engine compartment, just...
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you just... Okay, if you want to have a good-looking, clean vehicle,
Yeah.
not just on the outside, but the inside,
Right.
you don't do that.
It was fun when you were 16, right, Jam?
Yeah.
Or 18 or whatever
Yeah.
the case may be.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, okay, that was cool. And then it was like, you just pay for it every day after that. So, I'm good.
Yeah, just to keep moving along because I feel like we got stuck on that. But that puddle and all that, it leads to this is we noticed a couple trucks going in and out of the driveways of the pits. We fight the same thing here in our yard. Watch your speeds, you guys. Drop it down. It's the bump, it's the safety, it's coming in and out of our driveways. We watched a guy the other day come out of our driveway, and I assume you can look both ways, or you looked both ways and can see both ways coming up our driveway. But I've had so many people run the stop sign, and they're on you by this first driveway here, because you got to go across the road to get out and not hit things. So watch the speed there.
Can I jump in on the driveway, Jim? Because
Yeah.
we didn't talk about it, and it happened 2 weeks ago or longer. We talk about hitting the gate, right? We went
Yeah.
through it
Yeah, that was-
6,000
that was all
times, but we
speed.
hit the gate.
Yeah.
Because we hit the gate at Plant 2. At
Yeah.
Plant 2 Franklin Plant, we hit the gate.
Yep.
Yeah, and was it not driver's side?
was.
Exactly. That's what I when
twice. We've done it twice over the
when,
years.
Yep.
when I hear hit the gate, I just instantly think with a trailer, right? I just instantly think with a trailer. This driver came in so hot. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. On the video, is it not 16 miles an hour?
I saw 16. Yeah.
So we're clearing the driveway at 16 miles an hour into Plant 1. We come in so fast and swing so wide, we hit, entering the plant, the south gate post with our driver front fender on the left side. Our driver's side front fender hits the south gate post because we came in so fast and so hot and got that close. We put ourselves in that much peril. And I just don't understand that.
Yeah, especially, and this probably sounds like an excuse, but you're in a frickin' automatic. You don't even have to make a shift.
You didn't have to push in the clutch.
You didn't have to do anything,
Right.
You know, I remember, going in a gate with a stick. You know, you have to grab a gear, and maybe you miss that gear. You need that low one. You know, you got to make that shift. You don't even have to do that. Just step on the brakes and slow the f up.
Right.
The truck will do everything for you.
And we talk about that situational awareness.
Yeah.
And that's, that goes back to the guy, and I've given this story 1,000 times, right? About the guy that jumps out of the helicopter every day for a living. And he was in such a hurry to jump out and save these people that he didn't tie off. And he jumped out to his death, right? That's situational awareness. You've probably went in that gate. If you're on that plant every day, that's 6-7 loads a day. 5 days a week, there's 30 loads a day. You've probably went in and out of that gate hundreds, if not thousands of times, depending on how many times you've worked here. That's situational awareness. That's, hey, I need to slow down. We talk about it. I'm just so you guys, I know it's obviously you're listening to me, but I have my arms this far out as far as I can reach from one side to the other. You should never be that close to anything. When you're maneuvering that truck, you should be that far away. That's a good 4 feet, 6 feet.
Yeah, 6 feet.
5 feet, as wide as I can reach from side to side. And we were so close to it, we hit it with the driver's side, front of the truck. I mean, we have thousands of dollars of damage to that fender. I think we downed to the truck because we had to have it repaired instantly.
Yeah.
So some of the things are kind of mind-boggling. That's a mind-boggling incident, just like driving through the puddle. And you wonder where that driver's train of thought is on that. And we've all been there, right? This isn't a pointing finger conversation. It's an awareness problem, right? How do we get better? Well, we talk about it, right? I don't want this to be a pointing finger thing. I want it to be an aha moment for other
it's too
people that
fast.
are right.
It's too fast.
Well,
I mean,
we use the term speed kills. How often have we talked about that? This is a situation that we were in too big a hurry. Why? For no reason, right? I mean, we were too close. Everything about our situational awareness was too fast.
yeah, and you've used it several times this week in a different situation, and I guess I'll ask the audience. Have you ever heard? And you guys can finish this sentence. So measure twice,
Cut once.
cut once. Right?
Right.
That's the saying. Everybody's heard that. Okay. So
Why?
in the-
Why would you do that? It's a carpenter's term, right? When
Yeah.
you're cutting wood,
Yeah.
right? If I have a 16-foot 2x10, and I need to cut it to 15 feet 4 inches.
you go-
If I screw up my measurement and I cut it to 15 feet 3 inches, it's too damn short.
It's a waste of a 16-foot 2x6 at
Right.
$50,
Right?
or
Yeah.
whatever it might be.
So I'm going to measure twice and be sure I have the right measurement before I cut.
Yep. So how I'm, might sound stupid, Dave. If you're going in the gate that fast, you have no time to measure.
Right.
You
Good
have
point.
no time to measure. And you couldn't even measure it once.
Yeah.
And you hit the gate. So I was just using that saying.
Right.
Works for everything.
Yeah.
Hey, and
Yeah,
then,
we talk about speed kills. We talk about slow up. We talk about situational awareness. We talk about looking in the mirrors. We talk about blind spots. We talk about all of these things. And like the podcast 2 weeks ago, why do we talk about it? Because we've had
been
an
through it,
accident,
yeah.
right?
yeah. You know, and that, I guess that it does, you know, we've even had some interviews this week, Dave, where we've talked to people that the speed kills, it's the same thing when you're talking to somebody or when you're listening to
Ooh.
somebody,
What do you mean?
right?
What do you mean?
Is oh, I get that. I'll get that.
I'll take care of it.
Speed. Speed. Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be speed.
All right.
Right?
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
I've got an answer for you.
But
My old saying rings true for all of that. Haste makes waste.
Yes, Dave.
oh yeah, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like a 300-year-old saying or something,
is.
right, Dave?
Confucius say.
Yeah, Jim, exactly. Yeah, so even when you're talking to somebody, slow down, listen to them. Listen to them and absorb it. Right? Absorb it? No.
Absorb.
Absorb it. Yeah. I'm Xing it. We're absorbing it. And then your response, you can take a few minutes. There's nothing rude with that.
Yeah.
And think about
Think
your
about
response.
what you're going to say.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
need to do that.
Oh, I all need to practice, and I think our group we do pretty well at that. I think we've worked on it so much, right?
Right? I mean, it's a thing at the
It is a
steering
thing.
committee.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. So yeah, it works for everything. So a couple of the people that we've talked to this week that we've done some interviews and had some conversations with. If you're listening to the podcast here, think about that. We're back to speed and slow down. Realize it. I mean, we had a little thing over at Yard 23, Dave, that we took a phone call on this morning.
Yeah.
Could have been speed.
Avoided.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Preventable. We talk about preventable accidents
What
all the
happened
time.
over there? I missed it. Was there a text
It is a
message?
backing accident.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
With a big truck or a company vehicle?
Smaller vehicle.
Yeah, smaller
Yeah.
scale. Should we give the story, because we talk about all this all the time because we've experienced it, but I always like the story of like, how do you learn from someone else's mistake?
Right.
I mean, to me those are the key moments. I know when you see an accident on the road or you watch an accident happen and you're like, well, that guy was following too close.
Right.
But I have to realize I shouldn't do that, right? You have to learn from someone else's mistake, and I haven't given the story for a long, long time, but
You're not going to bring up the 3D thing, are you?
was it 3 or 2? I thought it was just 2
Two or three. It was a lot.
It was more than allowed. One was more than
no,
allowed,
no.
right?
It's not good. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you talk about learning from someone else's mistake, and Jim and I are 5 years apart, right? So he obviously turned 16 when I was 11 years old, and we were pretty blessed. Dad made a deal with both of us, obviously Jim first, but when he turned 16, said, here, I'll get you a car, you can drive it, but I have, 2 criteria. You're in school and you have to carry a B average.
B average,
right?
minimum.
And you either play a sport or you have a job after school. One of the two, right? And Jim played all sorts of sports and stuff, and him and Dad built this badass '66 Mustang, and I don't know, how long did you have it, Jim? Because it wasn't long.
It was the first semester after I got it. So whatever.
It was long enough to enjoy, right?
Oh, yeah, I was having a good time.
So everyone understands, right? He was my ride to school, right? Like I was 11 and I didn't have to walk to school anymore because Big Brother got a pretty badass car. He could drop me off on the way to his school at my school, right? And anyway, don't need to make the story any longer, but report cards came out. Jim didn't hold his end of the bargain and keep a B average. There was a couple lower scores on that report card, right? Whether it was 1, 2, 3 Ds, whatever it was. He didn't have a 3.0. There was no B average in that negotiation. And, not everybody here knows Jim Sr., but when he tells you something, that's what it is. If he says he's going to hold up his end of the bargain, that's what the man does. He always has and he always will till the day he's gone. He's a man of his word. And when he told us that and made that agreement, that was his deal. That report card came and Jim didn't hold up his end of the bargain, and Dad took the car. And Jim was like,
Or
"Oh."
another semester.
Right? Yeah. I want to say 9 weeks, not a full semester, but it felt like a
semester.
Yeah,
ours was
a
at
quarter.
We had 4 quarters.
Yeah,
back
right.
then,
A
not
little
semester. Yeah.
different than
Yeah.
today. But anyway, it was 9 weeks.
Yeah.
A quarter's 9 weeks in school for us. It was,
Yeah.
and we walked past that car. Both of us had to walk to school then for 9 weeks, and I think I would hit him every day, going, "Why'd you get a D, man? Like this sucks, dude. I got to walk to school because of your mistake." And you know what that
You
taught me?
just weren't old enough to go, dumbass.
Hadn't met
I hadn't
Mick
met Mick yet. And anyway, you guys, I mean, when I turned 16, I'm like, whew, I got to carry a B average. Dad ain't going to screw around, right?
What class did you get the D in?
Oh, I don't even remember, Dave.
It was like ceramics and metal shop.
Not even math, huh?
Come on. It was advanced writing and calculus.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
You got those because it was a screw around, Jim, right?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely. I was out
So-
I wasn't doing my job. Dave,
Right,
and
exactly.
I was having a good time.
And there were repercussions because of that.
absolutely.
And I guess the whole point of the story, we're making a joke out of it, right? The whole point of the story is I learned when I turned 16, also on that was no tickets, right? We couldn't get a ticket,
you
otherwise the car was his.
Yep.
Had to carry a B average. If you didn't play a sport, you had to have a job. So I had a job after school because I'm about as athletic as this table in here. So anyway, yeah, you can learn from someone else's mistakes. Whether you're affected by it or not, you can look and see what not to do. You can look and see that's wrong, and you can make the choice to be better.
But along that, and we talk about it again, spit it out. For you to learn, you had to have situational awareness.
Right.
Was you're in a bad situation, and I'm aware of it.
Right, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And most people won't do that.
Yeah.
Too. I mean, look around, learn.
Right.
I mean, Jam told us a story this morning. We were talking about Paco and Rosario, and I think you learned some of it this weekend, right, Jam, about having a toolbox. And the pastor said that he didn't grow up with a dad. And I'll let you take it, Jam, because it pertains to
It's
this.
perfect.
Yeah. So the pastor that was teaching this marriage conference, Juan Martinez, he said that when he needs something fixed at his house, he didn't grow up with his dad, so he didn't really know how to fix things. So he would call people that he knew had a dad and be like, "Hey, you had a dad, right?" And the guy be like, "Yeah." He's like, "Cool. Bring your toolbox over." Never asked him if he had a toolbox.
Right.
He assumed, "Oh, you grew up with a dad.
Sure.
You have a toolbox. Bring your toolbox over and help me fix this thing." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, Paco's so funny, and he chimes in. He looks at me. He's like, "I do that with Rosario. Like, I know he had a dad. So when I get jammed up, I call Rosario, and Rosario's come and helped him, teach him how to do his brakes and
Nice.
and stuff like that."
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's
How cool is that? And you told that story this morning. I just gush at that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just so awesome.
Yeah, two men just
Helping each other out.
Yeah, just getting it done.
Yeah.
And the toolbox doesn't represent that it's full of wrenches and screwdrivers and hammers, Jam. In my mind, that toolbox
full of knowledge.
can contain anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything that's going to help you.
Yeah, and we do it. I mean, when we circle up in the mornings and, we're going back and forth. I mean, there's nothing that you and Dave together can't do. You know what I mean? Like, I
Well,
mean,
we'll sure get ourselves in a lot of trouble if we can't, Jam.
Right.
How's
Yeah.
that?
yeah. Oh,
We'll look foolish trying.
We'll
and
jump in.
we have.
oh, you have a problem with your sprinkler? Do this. Oh, you got a problem with your water heater? Do that. Oh, you got a problem with this? It's like the years of experience and knowledge,
Yeah, yeah. But those are good. We'll definitely jump in, Jam.
Yeah.
I got a
Cinder
problem with
block
all,
wall?
I got a problem with all those things. Just so you know. Come on
Need
over.
a cinder block wall built? Oh, we can help you with that. Need some concrete poured? We can help you with that.
Yeah.
I just keep thinking about the furnace motor because I just replaced mine. Well, I hired a guy to do it, David. It's perfect.
It doesn't go
doesn't.
when it starts up. Dave. Good for you.
So you guys gonna say what happened in yard 23, or we're just going down trips of memory lane? Or-
Man, he gets on a bone. He won't let it go. Huh?
Right.
We don't have to.
No, we can go over it, Jam. I mean, it's the right thing to do because the driver recognized it. Is we backed the flatbed into the block wall on the shed over there when we were putting it away,
Gotcha.
and the driver said, "Hey, I should have known better. Sticker right on the mirror. Get out and look. I didn't get out and look. He goes, I didn't realize that the beaver tail, I'm going to call it a beaver tail on the flatbed because it contains the ramp. So what you see in the tires, it's a long ways behind that.
Right,
You know,
gotcha.
and he said, I basically did everything wrong. But I know what I did wrong. I didn't get out and look. I didn't check the situational awareness, the whole bit.
So wait,
He called this morning and said, this is what I did.
nobody found the damage and asked him and like,
Nope.
No.
hey, what happened here? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh? What do you mean?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was like that when I got it.
Fess up your mess up. So
John Moore, here's your quote. Thank you for that. It's better to eat crow warm than it is to eat crow cold, right?
yeah.
So the minute you have a problem, just
Yeah.
eat some crow. You killed it. Eat
Yep.
it. Let's get it over with.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it is a big deal, but it is no big deal when you report it.
yeah.
Right.
We moved
I had
past it.
Yeah.
I had a guy the other day. I'll just say Dylan Harshman. You know, he came in and I was like, hey, good morning, Dylan. This is Monday. I'm like, how you doing? He's like, well, I was doing good. I'm like, well, what happened? Well, I didn't realize I was preloaded with cores. I'm like, oh, you popped your tailgate? He's like, yep. And it seemed like a really big deal to Dylan because he's never been through a core spill before. So,
Because he's never been what?
through a core. He's never spilt grain before.
Oh, gotcha.
He's never had a tailgate pop open.
Sure.
He's never how to put it was new to him. So it was like he thought it was like, oh my God, this
is bad.
This is a problem. I mean,
Yeah.
he wasn't like being a little baby about it. But,
Yeah.
you know,
This is a Monday morning F up, and I'm deep.
yeah.
Yeah.
he was-
And who's proud of a mistake, right? Because it
Right.
was just a simple mistake.
Yeah, but
no
he-
damage.
He was more concerned about it than anybody in the office. You know what I mean? Like, oh, yeah, the course pro. I'm like, do we need the skid steer? And I think he nodded. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be bad. We'll go have to go. So I go back there, and there's 20 minutes worth of shoveling back there. I'm like, oh, let's get your gate closed, and it's no big deal. Like, but if he had left,
Big deal.
big deal. Like if he
Right.
got that gate closed and just left, and there was, 10 wheelbarrows of grain on the ground,
Yeah.
it would have been like, what's the matter with this guy? You
Right.
know what I mean?
But
So,
Yeah.
your whole story is he showed up,
showed up.
hey, messed up, whatever, popped my gate. The whole it's no big deal.
Yeah. And
Yep.
we had a couple laughs. We had some good conversation out there.
Exactly.
good.
Like we always do.
I know Dylan better now than I did before that little spill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Seems like a great guy.
Dylan?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Seems really sharp.
All right.
Yeah.
What else you got there?
Hey, I think the only thing I haven't checked off, and it goes along with the tow hooks, mud, this time of year, snow, we talk about it. Spinning and shock loading the rear ends, you guys, the tires, the axles, whatever you want to talk about it. I've spit it out. I don't know how many times compared to the old school trucks. These trucks reach their full torque at about 900 RPM. That is nothing to be at that when it's spinning. And you're spinning, you're at 900 foot-pounds of torque, or you're at 900 RPM, you're at 1,800 foot-pounds of
It's
torque.
barely on the throttle.
Barely on the throttle,
Yeah,
and you could have torqued up to that as fast as they're spinning
Right.
with the automatics.
Right.
And then you bite pavement or concrete or asphalt or dry dirt or whatever it takes, but you've stopped all that iron from spinning, and it goes from the tires down the axles in through the transmission to that little bitty tooth on that ring gear, and it breaks it.
Yep.
It shock loads it, and we talk about shock load all the time. So please, you guys, if you're in a situation and you're spinning or you're stuck or something, use that back window.
So if you're in a situation, you need to use
What?
situational.
Yeah, situational awareness, common sense, all your vision, have the windows down,
Yeah.
have the rear ends locked up, have somebody help you, all the stuff.
Right.
All the stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So, yeah,
Good-
Jam, that's
good stuff.
I think I've covered most of the stuff I threw on the list there.
Well, we didn't put about stopping. I mean, we have it written here, but we didn't talk about it. Stopping on the side of the road. I mean,
I thought
yeah.
I covered it when the mud, but yeah, Dave, I'm not telling you not to mention. I'm just saying, yeah, it's all put together, right?
yeah,
So please,
yeah. I mean, stopping on the side of the road. We mentioned it 2 weeks ago on the podcast from the week prior. Scooby made an announcement in the morning. Hey, it's wet out. We've just had a storm. Things are muddy. Stay in the center of the dirt roads when you're delivering to the dairies. If you're on a job site, don't just drive off the road. Go walk it first. and when you're making I call them a pit stop, when you're grabbing lunch or need to use the restroom somewhere or something, and you pull off the shoulder of the road. The key there is the shoulder of the road. Right. You're not on the road anymore. You're on the shoulder. Was the shoulder designed to have an 80,000-pound truck stop on it? Probably not. Nope. It's just dirt. Unless it's a well-compacted area. So that morning, Scooby made that announcement like 5 times on the radio. We had to go pull 2 trucks off the shoulder of the road.
Right.
So, situational awareness, be understanding, slow up, pay attention. It's thinking through those moments, right? Yep. They're all human mistakes.
Yeah.
And they're preventable.
And I know along with warming up, but that's the reason I bring it up again, is we're headed into the wettest snow of the year. March,
Yes.
April,
Oh, yeah.
we're going to have it. It's full of a lot of moisture.
Yeah.
And it's not frozen.
Right.
So, yeah, definitely.
It just in this last week with the warmer temperatures,
been muddy
it's
everywhere.
been wet.
Yeah.
It is wet. Yeah, everything is wet out.
That's something you guys need to realize too is, last week we had some decent weather, but we still weren't slam busy.
Right.
It's because the job sites are still a mess.
Yeah.
So
they're a
it's like-
disaster.
Yeah, I mean we need 3 weeks of good weather.
Yep.
Right.
I mean to really dry out and
Look at how busy Monday and Tuesday were this week.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we were.
And when you do look at the weather, we got some. It's warming up. We got some
50
50s.
degrees, Friday and
Yeah.
Saturday or Saturday
Yeah.
and Sunday.
Yep.
And, and people are going to look. It's going to get to that time of year. They're going to be opening the job sites up.
Yep.
We're going to
yeah,
get busy.
We're so close.
Yep.
To be screaming again.
Smell the springtime.
I can't wait to be on fire.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about that before you know it.
Then we're going to be into October and go, I can't wait till it slows up a little
I'm
bit.
tired.
Where's the snow at?
I'm
we need
tired.
a break. Uh-oh.
I can't wait to smell the rain.
Ooh.
Right?
That would be nice. Yeah.
think there's a
It would
song.
also
Twinning.
be
Jinx.
nice
What's your
to,
three? Oh, man.
to clean a little bit of the dirt off. Right,
Yeah.
Dave?
Yeah.
When the snow's all melted, we're dirty.
Yeah.
Need a good washing.
Yeah.
Can't wait
for
to
sure.
turn my sprinkler system on.
I'll be over and help.
I can, man. Those water bills, they're not going down.
I'll tell you what, I'd like to see, I wouldn't mind my water bill creeping up a little bit and my Excel bill creeping way down.
Right. Yeah.
That thing's out of control right now.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
it's the natural gas is what's doing
Oh,
it.
that natural gas is ridiculous. It does look like they are trying to come up with a possible change if possible. Like, I don't know if they'll go backwards or anything, but yeah,
Yeah, something ain't right.
it's rough. It is rough out there.
One thing I wanted to bring up for safety topic is 92,000 pounds max, and that's not on any of the I roads. We're talking about secondary roads. You got a heavy permit.
What roads?
Secondary. Oh, what roads not to use your
Yeah,
permit
what's
on?
an I road?
An I road is an interstate. I-70.
Is that Apple? Is that an
I-20.
Apple Road?
An Apple road. What? Is it the same as an ear road or a nose road?
Yeah, all the interstates, guys, including I-270, I-225, all the I.
I think the really big one is I-76.
Ooh, yeah, that little short.
Yeah, between
Right.
like 104th and I guess I'll go with 74th.
Right.
Right? I mean, that's
Yeah, you can't-
that is still an interstate.
Yeah, if you dip your toe in the pool, your foot gets wet, right? So
Right.
don't dip your toe into I-76
Yeah.
if you're over 80,000 pounds. So here's the deal, and I don't want anybody to feel singled out because this happened 2 times yesterday. I had 2 people run just slightly over 92,000 pounds. And they both had excuses. And, it is what it is, right? But, yeah, I mean, let's just not do it, because you're heavy. I mean, basically, if you run heavy, what we do is we take your heavy permits away, and then you can't run heavy,
Right.
for 30 days. So we want you to be able to run heavy. You want to be able to run heavy. It takes a couple minutes to kick 500 pounds off of your truck.
Yeah.
So.
And why is that a hard line?
Well-
Why did we choose 92,000? The permit's good beyond that,
Well,
I believe you say light trucks, light duty.
yep.
right? Light trucks versus light duty, right? And we've gotten as light as the equipment will absolutely allow.
Yeah, some of these trucks are tearing in at 26,000 pounds plus, right?
Right.
So,
I mean, the reason we've done that is so we can legally haul more.
right.
Right? I think there's not one truck in the fleet that can't put on 26.5 tons and bridge and axle that at 80,000 pounds, right? So we're when I literally say tons, we're tons ahead of our competition, right? I mean, if Colorado came to if Colorado made a rule that 0 allowed over 80,000 pounds.
Yeah, the pit would get fined, Dave.
Yeah.
If they would finally show up and make the pits get fined for letting a load go out,
right?
We'd be top of the heap.
We'd be top dog, hands down, top dog. Everybody would be on fire going, I'm not making it.
Yep.
I can't make it at these rates.
I'm losing a ton and a half of load.
Because I'm doing it legal, right?
Right.
But what happens when you do that is we've taken a lot of the strength out of the truck and trailer by doing that. So
we haven't taken the strength out of the truck to do a legal load.
Yeah, to do a load capable of 92,000.
Yeah, we have at 97.
Yes,
that's a low boy truck. You're getting up into weights that just
we don't have 2 frame rails and steel cross members and ridiculous suspensions and we would tear in at 31,000 pounds, not.
And you'd haul 20,
not low 27s or high 26s. Yeah. So there's a reason for that. You will break that truck, and at some point we have to draw a line, right? We're giving you the option of being able to do this. Here's the max, 92,000. And I've sat there and I've listened to JR give the spiel when he hands out a permit. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about the clarity of that. Yep. JR does an awesome job at that, and there's just no excuse. You're not doing your job. We're back to situational awareness. Wait a minute. I'm in the situation. I've asked for 92,000. I'm 92,160. Well, I got to go trim.
Yep.
Right? You need to know the situation you're in because we've allowed you. That's back to the report card, right?
Yep.
We were told we have to have a B average to keep that car. Well, you need to be under 92,000 to keep that permit. Here's the deal. We're pulling it. End of story.
Yeah, it's
no ifs, ands, or buts.
It's kind of like the shopping carts in that little meme I sent you, Jim. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be able to regulate yourself.
Yeah.
If you were going to go to jail for not putting your shopping cart away, or if you're going to get lashed or beat, you'd put it away.
Right.
Same thing. If you're not going to lose anything by going over the 92,000, why wouldn't you go over? So we'll just, hate this. Make threats, but I mean the policy is 92,000 or you lose your permit.
Yeah, and this here, Jim, we're explaining why, because shopping cart, you don't do it,
nothing happens.
Nothing happens. You don't break the cart. You don't. Hopefully it's not out in the middle of the road and somebody doesn't hit it. That kind of thing. Not much there.
Hopefully you didn't put it in front of a car that's going to drive over it.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. But here we just explained to you the safety reasons.
Yes,
and what it's going to do to our equipment. If we haul over 92 all the time.
Here's our reason why.
Here is a good reason. That's the logic of that statement, Jim. And you just need to do it.
No ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Was it our fault that you hauled overweight?
Not mine.
Not mine either. Right? You made that choice. That's situational awareness. At some point, the really successful people here monitor themselves. They do their job and they're good at it. The people that aren't successful here aren't capable of monitoring themselves. They don't have a good situational awareness.
You know who's never not one time called me and said they were overweight? Mr. Perfecto.
Good job, Rosario.
Not one time did I get a phone call. Hey, I'm 300 pounds over.
Right?
Nothing.
Right.
But that I know you said regulate, Dave, but that's what Jam just said about the shopping cart. They're self-governing themselves.
Yeah.
And makes them better.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Anybody want to read Ray's tips and tricks?
Was there any questions, Jam, from the audience? Nothing?
Nah.
You did because it was blank?
They know everything.
All knowing.
I feel the same way. I know everything for about 5 minutes, and then it just goes to hell.
You have to relearn it again?
Yeah, I can't keep up.
I'm like Ruthie on Ozark. I don't know blank about blank.
Yeah. Blank. Yeah.
I don't know blank about blank.
Yeah. That's a classic.
Yeah. Not family friendly. Sorry.
Definitely not family friendly.
Yeah.
I can read the tips and tricks since
I feel censored today, just so you know. Super Dave censored me. You can't say that on a podcast. I'm not spitting a Ruthie quote out. I'm getting soft.
I mean, you can say it, Jam. It's just the
No,
audience
it's not a good
probably
look.
shouldn't need to hear it,
It's not a good look for me either,
right?
so.
You know what's sad is you can't say that word, but you can text it and hide it, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can text that word and not spell it completely,
Oh yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
here on the radio, you
Well,
can't.
I mentioned it. I said effed up. I mean, I
Oh,
don't know
so
if
I
that's-
could just say I
I
don't
don't
know.
know F.
I don't know poop about ducks. There we go.
No, it's not the same, Jam.
It's not as impactful.
Yeah,
So I don't
not
know,
as impactful.
I don't know Frankfurt's about Frankfurt's.
There you go.
And I don't give a Frankfurt. So anyway, tips and tricks. This comes to you, brought to you by Ray Ray. He's been throwing some great tips and
Been
tricks in
rocking
there.
it, hasn't he?
He's been
Yes.
rocking it, man. Keep up the good work, Ray Ray. It's inspirational that you send these in every week, man. It's so cool, and it's just stuff we talk about all the time, right? That seems like when you're in that situation, you should be situationally aware of
yeah.
it. So, Ray's tips and tricks is making corners in a truck. Cornering in a big rig can be especially challenging, especially ones where there is heavy traffic. Mud in a pit or a plant or soft ground can be an issue, or even missing your turn. The same thing applies to city streets as it does to highways also. To make a proper turn, you should use your signal and get over way before your turn, slow down, and prepare for the turn. Just that sentence right there is the entrance to plant 2 where we hit the gate.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That right there would have solved that. So then slowly and carefully turn. You should not turn hard into a turn. You should not turn so hard into a turn that you load your suspension up. Loading the suspension on a big rig puts a lot of wear and tear on the truck and tire also. And what he's talking about when you load the suspension, when you turn, you're taking weight off of one side of the airbags, putting them on the other, and it's loading the suspension. It's putting more pressure on the suspension. I don't want to say than it was designed for, but it's just more wear and tear, right? It's like avoiding that pothole on the road. If you're just going to like drive through the pothole, you're creating more wear and tear on that truck, and it's just hard on things. So, also make sure you're leaving yourself plenty of space to make your turn, but pay close attention to the traffic around you. You always have to consider the possibility that a motorcycle or a small vehicle could sneak up onto you in the space beside your truck on your turning side. We also have blind spot detectors on most of the trucks. Use your tools, sit up in your seat, and use all your mirrors to make a safe and proper turn or corner. That stuff is just great. I mean, he covered so many things right there. They're things we talk about all the time. But Ray, that's awesome, man. Yeah, you covered blind spots. You covered turning. You covered slowing down in the driveways. Sitting up in your seat, being aware of your situation. All of that stuff. Good job. I hope everybody takes all of that to heart and can learn something from it.
Yeah, and I love it. He says use all your tools. So
Yeah.
he went to his toolbox.
Yep. Yeah.
Got his tools out.
Yep.
And went to work to make that turn.
Yeah, I guess I want to give a shout out to Ray because he's been training back to back, and we've gotten nothing but kudos on his training and how he's willing to help everybody. And I know we've had him on the podcast here a while back, and he just does an excellent job, man. He's invested. I urge anyone, if you have a question, you can call that guy. You can call him on the radio. For those of you that have his number, you can call him. He's just a go-to guy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's awesome to have you on board, Ray. We really appreciate you.
Yep. Agreed, 100%. Soup, you want to hit us with that high road hauling?
Oh, sure.
I heard it's a good one.
I think so. I think so. Have you ever heard the term "stay the course"?
Yes.
Okay, this kind of got
How
in my-
long?
in
How long do I have to do
well,
this?
I'm going to tell you. I kind of got on this little horse the other day when we've lost a few drivers that haven't even been here a week, and they go through the interview, and I ask them all kinds of questions, and they say yes, it sounds like it's a good fit. Then-
Not to interrupt you, Dave. I'm so sorry for interrupting you. Right, I'm not using my Navajo stick, but anyone that works here that you've hired knows the process. right? You know what I mean? And
sure.
you've probably hired almost everyone here or been in the
And
process with
I
it.
always ask if it's a good fit, that we want to make this a long-term relationship. We want people to thrive here, you know. But anyway, nobody likes a quitter.
I hate them.
If you ever think about quitting something, think again. To stay the course means keep going strong to the end of a race or contest, or to continue to do something despite the difficulties. Ronald Reagan even used the phrase during his 1982 campaign because the country was suffering an economic downturn and his recovery plan was going to take time. History has proven over and over again the reasons why people should always stay the course. Grit, tenacity, stubbornness, or you could say focus, insight, or vision. Let's think about the big picture first. Where would the world be today if the Allies had not stayed the course against the Axis powers during World War II? Many people think the American Revolution affected only the United States, but the shockwaves from the war are still being felt today. The revolutionaries were fighting against the largest and strongest empire of the day, the British. The result of that revolt is our country, in modern times, is the sole superpower and influences much of the globe. How about the North and South? To this day, the Civil War was the bloodiest war in our nation's history. If the Republic had not stayed the course and slavery still existed, the implications would have had a ripple effect that would have profoundly changed the last 150 years around the world. Arguably, on a lesser scale, where would the automobile industry be without the innovation of Henry Ford? He started 3 automobile companies and lost all of his investors' money twice. On his third try, he started the Ford Motor Company, released the Model T, and invented the assembly line and changed the auto industry forever. On an individual level, J.K. Rowling had her first Harry Potter novel rejected 12 times and was told not to quit her day job. Babe Ruth was one of the greatest baseball players of all time, and he held the home run record for 34 years. But most people don't know he also struck out more than anyone, twice as many times as he hit a homer. His explanation? I just go up there and swing. I just keep swinging and I keep on swinging. Every strike brings me closer to my next home run. The Beatles were turned down by almost every record label. In one infamous rejection, an executive at Decca Records declined to sign them because, well, guitar groups are on their way out, he said. And the Beatles have no future in show business. Of course, that was considered one of the biggest mistakes in music history. Keep this in mind the next time you are rejected. It may well be that you haven't failed at all, or take the alternative message to heart. It turns out that 2 years after Decca rejected the Beatles, George Harrison returned to the label to offer a tip. Sign the Rolling Stones. Well, Decca did, and as they say, the rest is history. Stay the course with everything you undertake, no matter how hard it is, how long it takes, or how discouraged you get. The reward just might change the world. Your world for sure. And the quote this week brings us back to Michael Jordan that we talked about earlier. I love this quote. It's one of my favorites. I have missed 9,000 shots in my career. I have lost almost 300 games. On 26 occasions, I have been entrusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. By Michael Jordan.
Nice.
Stay the course.
Stay the course.
Yeah. So true. Good one, Dave.
Yeah.
Final thoughts, everybody?
I think, well, I know you guys all are married in this room. I assume most everybody out driving is married or has a significant other or a boyfriend or, a relationship and stuff. And I read this article where this husband would come home every night and the wife changed it up on him and said, I'm sure we've all had our wives go, hey, how was your day? And you go through it and stuff like that. And when he got home, his wife would go, what was the best part of your day? And, for a while he just would like, oh, it was this, and this, and this, and this, and this went on. And it took him about 6 months. And he's like, why did she ask me that? what is the best part of my day, or what was the best part of my day? And he's like, he said, I got to ask. He said, I know I come up with something, but he said, I'm exhausted coming up with the best part of my day. And he said, why do you ask me that way? And she looked at him and she said, I'm being selfish. It's for me, because I'm struggling finding the best part of my day. And when I find you can find your best part of the day, then I find my best part of my day. Because I see that you have the strength to find that, and it lifts me up. And we hook them together here, Dave. Your high road hauling, staying the course. You might have bad things go on, but stay that course, or pass your knowledge on to somebody else.
Yeah, and you just
share.
can't focus on that bad.
No, you can't, and look for it. And one of the other questions I want to, I've had a bad day. Oh, life sucks. Okay, so here's my question for you, and I want to end it on that. Okay, so what was the least crappy thing that happened in your day?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it depends what you're thankful for, right, Jim?
Right? What,
Yeah.
Okay, so what was the least crappy thing?
Right, yeah.
Right? So
no, I get it.
That's my final thought.
I get it. I not to like ding your final thoughts there by any means, but I was like, what popped in my head when you said the best part of my day? I'm giving away my age here, but the Folgers commercial.
The best part of waking up.
Best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup, right?
Well, I told you that a couple weeks ago because Holly bought some Folger pods, and
Yeah.
Dave opened the door and said, "Morning, Jim." I said, "Better watch it. I got Folgers in my cup."
Yeah, I love your final thoughts, Jim. My wife actually asked me that. She says, "How was your day?" I'm like, "Good." Well, what was so good about it? She wants to know, and I don't know if
Yeah.
she's asking for the same reason. But the other thing she asked me when I'm going to work, what are you looking forward to today? And that kind of gets me thinking about what am I looking forward
Yeah.
to today?
Yeah.
So good stuff.
That's cool. That's good stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's only Wednesday morning. I don't like to say good morning on the podcast because sometimes we don't get it out till afternoon. So I always just say hi on the podcast or whatever. That's just kind of my thing. But for Wednesday morning, it's been a tumultuous week. The last 2 days, we've just been kind of hammered with just a lot. There's just a lot going on, work wise and things like that. Just stuff we're dealing with on different levels or whatnot. And I guess I look at our creed and we're faced and have to overcome so many challenges on a daily basis. And Dave, it's so funny, that ties in, our podcast ties in, and so many times that just happens almost like we're on the same wavelength
Right.
with your High Road Hollins. And I kind of have to say, when I look at the creed, you have to face and overcome all that stands before us. You have to be responsible for your words and your actions, and, create joyful, honest value for those you serve, and just all of those things. And it helps me stay the course, so I'm just kind of tying it all together. I think it's going to be a good rest of the week, and looks like we're going to get through some snow here, but it's going to be sunny tomorrow and the next day, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. Sorry. I just to piggyback with that, Dave. I guess I gotta talk a little bit about tomorrow, and I guess if it's not good, Jam will erase it for us. Unfiltered. But we had we're going through some pricing with Brannon. Obviously, I'm going to say for next year, but that's this year, right? We're early in the year, and we made some mistakes on some of the pricing, and was miscommunication, and Brannon themselves really reeled from the prices we turned in and how they looked at it and recalculated, and it was big. It was more than what they could afford, basically, and where the mistake was at, we're working through that, but. I guess this is where Theron, we're the character that he displayed last week, he really displayed yesterday, and same with the Marvel family that owns Brannon, is that they just didn't go, oh, well, and push us to the side. They recognized there was some kind of problem, and they came back with a solution when there was a mistake. And I guess thank you to Brannon, thank you to the Marvel family, thank you Theron, Jason, everybody that worked on it. But I guess that's what builds a relationship, Dave. And when you mention stay the course, or our creed here, we have to overcome everything that stands in front of us here.
Fess up your mess up.
Yeah, we did that yesterday, and the emails we got from the Marvels, I want to say Fred, and it's not Kurt. Sorry, just thanking us, just made everything worth it because we stayed our course, we communicated, we did it, we got through yesterday.
Nice.
And so sorry, Dave, if I don't know, I just had to say that. It was just something that needed to be said. I think there might be still a pit in Dave's stomach.
I wrote down the time. Just
Well, I'm going to shift gears a little bit. It is snowing like crazy outside. I've been just watching it. It's getting with it. I checked my camera at home. I live in Lafayette, which is a little bit more north, and it's not hardly snowing at all there.
What?
I mean, we maybe have
Dave,
2
you're
inches
letting me
on the
down.
table, on the deck,
Let me down. You're supposed to have 9 inches up there.
I just want to be a little ray of light.
Cool.
Daylight savings time starts in less than a month.
Nice.
March 12th.
Oh, wow, good.
I
Dave.
tell you, I've noticed
we're
how
not doing that
much
anymore.
later it stays lighter. I mean, I've mentioned that a couple weeks ago.
And what a difference when we change those clocks.
I
it's
thought we're
like,
not doing that.
boom, spring.
It didn't vote through, I didn't think.
Oh, I thought it voted through.
No. The vote actually, Jam, would be to stay on daylight savings time. So what was in the news when we went to standard time was that this might be the last time we go to standard
Oh,
time.
interesting. Ray
It still
Scott,
has to pass a vote, I believe.
Ray Scott, that was on the podcast, was one of the proponents of that. He's the one that created that bill.
Yeah, I would rather have daylight savings time
Yeah.
than standard time.
Yeah.
I like the one falling back.
Falling back is nice. Springing forward, it's rough.
Yeah.
Man, that getting up that hour earlier, that old body clock, I struggle with it. I can't lie to you.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't seem to have a problem getting up, right? I mean, you have to get up. You go to work, you get up, you wake up, but I feel it, right? I feel it. Especially the older I get, it's like, I just lost an hour there.
I think my final thoughts is I've said this before. I'm just proud to be at JFW. I'm proud to be on the leadership team. I'm proud to be part of that steering committee. And just last week during the interview process for the safety director position, just the back and forth that we've had and just the standards of what it means to be a part of JFW just kind of fills me up. And that's it. Yeah, I just love being here.
Nice.
So
Good
that's all
stuff.
I got. Let's finish up with the creed and
Yeah.
get to work.
Let's do it.
Together we face and overcome all that stands before us.
Together we are accident-free. Together we joyfully create honest value for those we serve. Together we celebrate our differences and respect those with whom we work. Together we are accountable for our words and our actions. Together we are the JFW family.
Bam.
Thanks,
See you, everybody.
Have a great week.